All right, welcome back. Hope everyone's having a lovely day, a lovely night, wherever you're from. And real quick, before we get started, I want to give a lovely shout out to the channel members on this channel. So thank you so much to these lovely commanders here that you see on screen. Thank you guys so much for your guys' generosity and your support. As always, it really means a lot to me, so thank you so much. And if you're actually interested in becoming a lovely commander yourself, if you are interested in any of these cute and lovely emotes, the loyalty crown badges, if you want a special role in the Discord, make sure to join the Discord. But as always, if you choose to do so, thank you so much. Just remember that's not the only way that you can support me. Just watching the content like you are right now is truly the best way. Liking, subscribing, and commenting, everything really does help. So thank you guys so much. And for today's video, the anniversary is about to end in less than 24 hours from now. Kind of crazy that 3 weeks kind of flew by, but I had a lot of fun with this event. I love the story. It was really insane. Really appreciate Grave a lot more now, especially Cinderella. It's crazy. I love the minigame. It was a bit time consuming, but overall, I really enjoyed it. But at this point in time, since there is a little bit of time left, I still wanted to give my final thoughts in regards to Cinderella and Grave. And when we talk about Cinderella and Grave, it's kind of important because you have to make a decision if you haven't pulled yet, or you haven't gotten lucky on the free pulls yet. You need to make a choice soon, because in less than 24 hours, we're actually not going to be having the banner for Cinderella. Her banner actually ends within the 24-hour period. Grave is still here for a week because remember she came out a week later. So keep that in mind that you still have time for that. But to choose between the two, you have to choose now because Cinderella leaves very soon. Just bear that in mind. Now that being said though, when we talk about Cinderella, it's interesting, right? Because when it came to Cinderella, there was so much like weird problems with her with this anniversary. The whole bug that she had that for some reason I got flack for when it was literally a bug that they chose to make it a feature now in her kit. To me, I think it's a plus the way they chose to go about it just because they didn't want another Red Hood situation. And for me, I went all out with Cinderella, same thing with Grave. Maxed OL gear, skills, dedicated cube, got her a doll. I want to get her doll to plus 15, but that's so many resources that I'm just going to do plus 5 SR, honestly. And I actually got a decent amount of lines on my OL gear that I actually am kind of happy about. They could be better, but I'm personally happy with them. So overall, I really love her. She's really, really strong, and I feel like a lot of people downplay her. The tier lists are kind of mixed, but honestly, I think she's the most DPS that we have right now. She is definitely really, really good for bossing, but I still think she's really powerful outside of that for PvE content. And I mean, I just used her for a simulation overclock, and it went by so smoothly to get the 25 done for the 2 weeks that I'm already done. I personally think that she's really, really good, and she's in that whole quote-unquote balance category now with Red Hood and SBS. And I feel like the only reason why I think Cinderella holds a little bit more over them is because Cinderella is pretty much plug and play. She's very auto-friendly, and for most casuals, that's what they want to find. Now, don't get me wrong, this doesn't like power creep Red Hood or SBS by any means, but she does a little bit more in my opinion. And I never got around to doing the tier list for Cinderella or Grave, but I wanted to talk about it because I know a lot of people don't like using Pride One anymore. When I started using Pride One, a lot of people didn't want me to start using it anymore, and I understand that perspective. And I was going to use Nikke.gg, but I decided I'm going to actually start using Sephi's. And if you don't know, Sephi has a website called Loot and Waifus, and he has dedicated tier list for it, guides, really great guy, really great website, great resources. There's a few other folk that help with that website as well. And I'll actually put it on screen right now because when we're talking about the tier list, this is just like a snippet that I took, but you can see that he has his own tier list. The current like OP quote unquote balance category with Cindy, Crown, Red Hood, SBS. Then we have the T0 category with Alice, D-Killer Wife, Litter, Modernia, Naga, and Tia. Then we have a T0.5 that also includes Grave here specifically with Scarlet, Rouge, Snow White, Quincy, Blanc, Asuka, you know, a lot of others. By any means, they're not bad at all. Even if they're below the balance category, they're still really, really good. And I feel like Sephi is the only one that has put Cinderella in that category alongside Red Hood and SBS because of the output that she has. And I have to agree that she is one of the top DPS right now in the game alongside them. I'm currently using them now in my PvE team, as well as obviously in my solo raids and stuff. I have yet to test her in Anomaly because I'm mostly just farming Kraken, so I haven't really seen how good she is for Mirror Container. But with discussing this tier list ranking, as you can see, Cinderella is in the balance category, and Grave is actually at the T0.5. Now, what does this mean for her? That's still really, really good, and she's really, really insane. And Grave Because Crown has such a broken category, it's kind of hard to try to compete in that Pilgrim slot too. But that doesn't take away from her because the amount of support that Grave does have is pretty huge. So let's actually go talk about it for a second. Because when we actually talk about Grave, she is insane. I made sure I kitted her out the same way. 10, 10, 10, a cube. I need to fix her OL lines a little bit, but she's still really great. And in terms of her actual, overall kit with her skills, what I really want to talk about is how much she helps with Pierce. Her burst is insane. Her amount of burst generation that she provides a team is so crucial, especially in solo raid content where you really want that. She does have a few bugs, and I highly recommend watching Sky's video talking about that, because there are some things with her that are kind of confusing. We're not sure if that's a part of her kit or not. But one thing that takes away from Grave is that she doesn't have much sustainability compared to Crown. So that's why some people might not prefer that, or you might want to bring someone else alongside Grave. But the amount of synergy that she provides with her Pierce damage to give to Red Hood, Alice, Asuka, or even giving some extra synergy with the Killer Wife is really, really huge. And for me personally, because I'm deciding to use Cinderella and SBS for my PvE team, I'm not using her in my current meta team right now. That doesn't mean that I'm not going to be using her though, because I'm going to be using her for solo raid content to pair with Red Hood, maybe Alice, depending on what the team comps are. And I think if this is going to be your first burst 2 character, not only is she fantastic, a great support, but she's going to have a lot of longevity. Supporters tend to have more longevity than the DPS because those get power crept more easily, in my opinion. And I think that if you don't have Crown yet because you're new, Grave is definitely a good burst 2 to have just to start the game with. Both characters I think are must pulls in that category. And overall, I was kind of surprised that we ended up getting Grave as an SSR like before, but I really am happy with both designs. I love the Muscle Mommy vibes. Not only that, but her story was just beautiful and it's still continuing. I love it. I love this anniversary and I love the characters, but I wanted to know what your guys' thoughts are on the character, because I gave my opinion, but what is your guys' thoughts? Do they differ from mine? Are you not impressed? Let me know. I'm always happy to talk about characters with you guys, and I'm sorry I never really got to talk about Grave in detail, go through tier list stuff, but as like a final wrap-up video in regards to the anniversary, I kind of wanted to do it now. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little talk, and I hope you guys have a lovely day, a lovely night, wherever you're from, and as always, thank you so much for the constant support. You guys are truly the best. Take care, and have a good one.